please?
Yeah, so Blackface Niger, and people know me as the leader of the band Plantation Boys. You know, I started the band from way back from when I was in school in IMT in Enugu, where I met you, where I met Easy Chi, where I met Don Hill. I met several people, and these people are just musically inclined and creative people, and they're still doing their creative work till date. So me, I've been doing what I've been doing since the time I started, and I'm still on my biz, still doing what I know, or what my passion drives, how my passion drives me, which is making music and trying to impact people's life one way or the other. You know, that's just my...
Blackface Niger, you have done this so long, so I'm going to ask you some pertinent questions about the music.
Okay.
Some intricate questions.
Okay.
So I'll start with, what is missing in the Nigerian music scene? Is it enough that we have this global attention that our music is making? Do you feel there's something missing, or you feel we have peaked, that we are where we are supposed to be, where we are planned to be, because it's easy for people to throw us out there and be like, yeah, we're running things and all that. So is there something missing with this global attention we're having currently?
Well, there's some things missing.
Talk to us about that.
And the first thing is that the attention is good, because once there's attention on you, it is going to put you on the spotlight to do good or show that you're doing bad. Because you can be praised from your vicinity, and when they compare your works with people's outside, they find out that either you're jacking off them and you're not being creative, or you are still way below par from how the level and the standard of music making, music writing, music production should be. You know, so I feel like we still have some gaps to fill, and there are several people that have tried to fill these gaps, but you know, it's not that easy for people to just come out and bridge this gap, because the real musicians are not heard, and the real writers and singers are not being patronized. So you're going to have an industry that is shaky. You'll be like, are we good enough? Can we really make it? Because you're having people that really don't...
When you say they're not patronized, how do you mean? Shed some more light.
Yeah, like the real artists are not being patronized. The real artists are not on the social media like they should. You know, because music is a kind of profession where you stay away from the regular, you stay away from the crowd. If the social media is a crowd, the real artists who don't want to be in that crowd. They just want to go somewhere, stay away, don't get caught up with the distraction of what somebody might be telling you or what someone is not telling you. So the real artists really don't, you know, but people like us be like, I know I'm a real artist, but I don't want to let that hit me. I will still be in that media space, and I will still tell them, yo,
chart your course.
Check my stuff out. I think I got what the industry is missing. And that's the reason why many of them have to come to my catalog to look for what to take to create.
Okay, let me come from this angle. You know, recently major labels are coming to Nigeria, right, and setting up shop and stuff. Okay. And more recently, we're talking about the Universals, the Warner Brothers, Atlantic Records, and all the major labels, right? And recently there was a deal that went through. You know, they invested 200 million in the record label in Nigeria. What's your take on such a combination, such a collaboration, or such an investment? What do you think about that? Do you think that the West might be colonizing Afrobeats? Let me put it like that. I mean, or make it theirs and stuff. What are your thoughts? Because this has come from several quarters.
Well, you know, where there's a fallow land, people tend to, you know, try to look to that side. And our industry is like a fallow land right now, just trying to grow. And we have the populace. And, you know, so these people have seen it that the industry has developed to a level that people are really ready to patronize what the artists are doing. So if it's a fallow land and it's a virgin land, they're definitely going to be thinking about trying to invest in the sector. if the government is not giving the small record labels grants and giving small record labels, you know,
or even invest in themselves.
You know, if they're not doing that for the people, they're going to see that there's a space here. And then they can come with their own orientation and with their own plan. You know, I listen to some big artists who used to sing about liquor, who used to sing about different things. But these people really don't do those liquors. They don't drink and they don't smoke. But they're the ones writing, making music about drinking and about smoking. And when you find out that they don't do these things, it tells you that the labels are probably telling them what to rap or sing about. So if they are coming to invest, I hope they're not going to be telling our people what to sing about, because our people have their own pain and their own plight and their own direction that they should be independent to create. But if they come in and they support the movement and support the heritage of the people, they will understand what I'm saying. But if they are here to make people buy into their own product or buy into their alcohol, buy into their drugs, buy into their stuffs, then they will have the artists in Nigeria or wherever they invest in to promote those things for them. And that's my only fear. Because if these labels are big and independent enough, they'll be able to say, this is what we want from our artists, regardless of who is paying the piper. Hey, you understand? So that's just my own take. It's a welcome development, but the artist and the label have to stay on their feet and stay strong on their aims and obligation to give entertainment to the people and educate the society.
How many artists actually know that?
Well, it's the label's responsibility to pass that to the young artists who are growing
When
up.
you're on the right label.
Right label.
Okay,
that's
so
like Loud House Entertainment.
So,
come to Loud House.
So there's a conversation, ongoing conversation about what Nigerian music is called across board. So everything is being collapsed unconsciously into Afrobeats. Everybody's calling, you know, our music Afrobeats. What are your thoughts? Should we care about what the music is called, or should we be focused on the substance, on the content? Well, because right now we see people, anyone gets an opportunity, they give their music a name. You know, they fuse all sorts of things. So in a week you would hear 10, 15 different genres of music. But in the long scheme of things outside were called Afrobeats. Wow. What do you think about that?
Well, I said this before when I went to one interview and they were talking about Afrobeat. And I was like, the music that people are making these days is not Afrobeat. Like most of the people are making these days is not Afrobeat. But they're using the name Afrobeat to sell it. They're just trying to sell the music by using the name Afrobeat. And then when you go back to how far Afrobeat has come, you get to realize how authentic these guys that have been doing Afrobeat before, these legends like Fela Kuti, Kola Ogunkoya, you have all those people that are Afrobeat artists. You know, you will now see their originality and how they've come. Now, since the new guys didn't come with no originality, they had to take the name Afrobeat and put it as their own for people to...
Let's remember to separate it. There's Afrobeat and there's Afrobeats with the S.
Okay, if we
I'm trying to clear on what you're breaking down, so that people that are listening will understand that there's a line.
Yeah, of course there's a line. And the music itself separates it. The sound of the music separates the genre aside. You cannot be singing a song and what song will I use? And you're telling it Afrobeat. You don't just do that. But it's because they want to cash in. It's just like somebody say you want to sell a Peugeot, a Peugeot, and Peugeot is not selling anymore. Maybe a Mercedes is more in vogue. And you turn your car Mercedes just because you want to sell it. And that's not right.
I see what you're saying.
And that's not right. And that's why I'm saying that stick to your genre, stick to what you know how to do.
Be proud of what you're bringing.
Of course, you don't have to go following other people because that's what they know how to do best. So you now want to join in the greats and water down their music. No,
painful.
We have to. That has to be some Watergate case or something.
So when you came in, What was the music called at the time, and what was the music on the scene? And talk a bit about that.
Yeah, when we came in, basically there was really no particular genre that was like, you know, because there was rap music was also in vogue. There was reggae music, rap music because of Felix Amozis and Junior Pretty and all those people.
Mode 9 at the time.
Mode 9, yeah, Mode 9.
You yourself.
Really, yeah, but I'm talking before we came.
Okay, before we came.
So we had those. You know, there were different genre. There was Raskimono, which is reggae. There was Magic Fashek with his own reggae and his own style. There was Abami Eda with his Afrobeat. There were different people with different genres. So we didn't have to say, there was no reason to stigmatize all Nigerian music as one.
Yes.
Don't forget, when you go to the East, you're going to see the likes of them, Oliver the Coke, and Sadebe. They were not doing Afrobeat, but they were making high life music. Just like everybody tell me Nigerian music not to be high life music. How would that sound?
Exactly.
When I'm rapping, Kini big deal, mini big deal. I'm cruising through the hood with big wheels. Is that Afrobeat or high life? I'm doing rap music. So there's rap, there's Afrobeat, there's R&B, there's dancehall, there's reggae, there's different genres. So I don't feel good when they try to term all Nigerian artists as Afrobeat artists. Where they don't even make Afrobeat.
It's sad. So at the point that you came into the game, so let's backtrack.
Okay.
A few years back, when did you decide that it was music for you? I'm not talking Plantation Boys now.
Yeah.
I'm talking pre-Plantation Boys. Then tell us the Plantation Boys story and how it went. So when did you decide that, listen, it's music?
Yeah, I decided it was music from when when I went to Shevu nightclub.
Where's that?
Shevu nightclub. Shevu is in Onisha.
Really?
Yes, Shevu nightclub.
When was this?
Shevu, that was like in 1980. That should be 1989, 88. Damn. Around that time, you know.
Wow.
That period. Very, very long.
Okay.
You know, and then while I was in school, I used to go to, you know, Enugu, you know, go there, perform, come. Even in school, we used to go to all this normal inter-house or whatever.
The school sports.
And we go and make music perform. And all of that, you know.
Correct.
So I started saying that, man, if people like my music that much, so why don't I take it serious? And so I decided to take it serious from that time. And when I also decided to take it serious was when I started going to Rap City Jams. And with the microphone out, we could rap for hours. I found out that, man,
please explain what Rap City Jams is.
Well, for those that don't know, I know you know Rap City, but there are people that don't know Rap City Jams. Rap City Jams was a store, a musical store that was in Enugu, and there we all used to go there. And from DOH, definition of hip hop, to adding to
NRS,
Corporate G, and everybody, we used to go there. It was a place where we all used to rap and pass the mic. So then I was like, man, I think I can keep doing this, because what am I going to do again? And I just fell in love with music, and so many people being involved. It was really, really nice, because my friends there, they really gave me encouragement. Yo, I like your rap, I like your flows. And I was like, yeah, you know. And that was how I built my courage to say I want to take it as a professional job. And that's what I'm still doing till today.
So from that time, segue into Plantation Boys, how did that begin to take shape?
Yeah, I had to leave school. We left school. I left school because I finished my ND, and I didn't want to wait another year. It was like, I'd waited like 2 years with a strike.
And you had taken this decision?
Yes, I'd taken the decision, and I was like, man, I'm not going to do this school anymore. I'm just going to go straight to Lagos, where they say that's where the
city of dreams.
Yeah, and I was going, and then I had my friend who was with me then, Mr. Innocent, you know. So I was like, man, I'm going to Lagos though, you know. And it was like, he's going to come with me. I was like, well, if you want to come, it's cool. I just need to finish 1 or 2 things. And so we came to Lagos and started the journey as a band, Plantation Boys. And as Plantation Boys, we made some records. We made we made like our first single was a smash. Our first album was a smash. At least we changed the mindset of the Nigerians thinking they can't make that international sound. Although there have been people before us trying to do it, respect to them. I'm not trying to downplay their effort. But I know that the moment I came in the game, I know what I brought in because I've been prepared for me to bring my contribution in. And it wasn't like I was just caught up, I was surprised about it. No, I knew. So that's the reason why when they give shower praises, I'm like, no, I know where I'm going. I don't really take it to heart. Like, yeah, maybe they felt I was too pompous because of that, but they don't know that. You know, you have what you are striving for and all of that. So the Plantation Boys started. I made Face to join the band, and we became a trio. We made some records, and we parted ways. So people went to different record labels. You know, just like
talking about different record labels. Do you remember that time? I think it was Christmas. You were in Enugu with your brother, Innocent, one other person. You had was it a Supra?
Yeah, my Supra. We had a problem with my car on the road.
No. You guys were in Enugu at that time. You were talking. That was the first time you talked about leaving Dove. Was it Dove?
Yeah.
So you talked about leaving Dove and that when you get back, you were going to shop for new labels and stuff.
Yes.
At the time, Dome Workers was in Enugu. You know, we had a meeting.
Yes.
In Jerry at Chris's house. If Dome had tried to make you an offer, would you have taken it?
I don't know, depending on what the contract would have stated then. But then, you know, when you're ambitious, you're just looking for that headway, you know. And it's good for you to be sought after when you're already aware of who you are. Because sometimes you might not be aware of who you are.
It gives you a negotiating power.
Yes, because then you can negotiate. But then, there wasn't really total cohesion about what we really wanted to do because there were individual preferences. Some persons wanted to be on the label. I wanted to be independent. I wanted to be independent, like start up my own label, start up my own publishing house. I wanted that. But I couldn't do that with the beginning. I had to, first of all, be able to work with some other persons, learn the process, learn how this thing works. So that's why I was open to working with anybody. But not just anybody, because I turned some people down to work with them, you know. And
can you divulge one of those people?
No, everybody knows. It's not like it's you know, they offered me their contract, but I didn't accept. You know, like Kenny's Music offered me their contract, I didn't accept because I was the witness to Tenny Tutila's contract, and I told Tutila that if it was me, I wouldn't be signing this contract. But I was his witness on the contract. But he wanted to come out, so let him go out. Yeah, do it. Even though I wrote some songs for him then, it's okay. But let him come out.
It's his choice.
So I had to let that go.
Awesome. So, personal question. Your relationship with Innocent, right, is well documented. Everybody knows, right?
Not well documented, like did a movie about it or something.
Because it's been online, it's been
okay. The media
the whole back and forth.
Yeah.
And so one other name that has featured in the story is Efe Omorogbe, right? So it was recently said that they split up. Efe used to manage Innocent, right?
Yeah, I heard
they split up. Do you have any thoughts on their working relationship and how it concerns you?
Well, I made my views very, very open and clear the moment I heard that news. I said, I hope he left my Let Somebody Love You behind.
Really?
Yeah, because he put his name on my song as a writer.
No, but I thought that had been squashed.
Nothing been squashed.
When there was we
had that, but they didn't go all the way to finish what the mediators said they should do. They left it, they abandoned it.
So what are you doing about that?
I have not done anything yet. I'm still waiting for them to get their senses together. And I'm still waiting.
Because I know you both were in courts, you had your lawyer.
Yeah, they decided to settle out of court.
Then, yes, I know about that meeting.
Yeah.
So are you able to speak about that meeting? Because I know NDAs were passed. Are you able to speak about it?
Well, there's nothing to hide about it. It's just the fact that they didn't go to the extent that they were supposed to do.
What was said
give
at the
me
meeting.
credit for what my works were.
And it was agreed upon?
Yes. But they've not done that.
From then till now?
How long
has that been?
That's been some time. That's been some time.
2-3 years?
Yes, that's been about 2-3 years. And I'm still patient. Still waiting for them to wake up in the morning and say, I'm supposed to do the right thing. I don't
So,
really,
so the question now that this poses for me is, being that they agreed at the mediation to do the needful,
yeah.
it's a rhetoric. Why all the hula baloo all these years? It's been set up that you didn't know what you were saying, that it wasn't, you didn't like the music. Why did all that happen?
They only just try to discredit me. They only just try to discredit me and discredit my personality and put me down like I'm not somebody they should be listening to. That was all they tried to do.
Why do you think they want to do something like that?
Why would they want to try to do something like that? They should try to do something like that because
it's like taking out competition, quote unquote, right?
Of course. So most of the niggas don't want no competition. Similarly, play my video for television. It's competition, and they're not ready for the competition.
Right. Okay, so do you feel misunderstood by sections of the audience? Because I'm asking this coming from Hard Life, smash hit.
Yeah.
I'm coming from Ahead of the Game, smash hits.
Yeah.
So how does the things that happened around that period differ from now? Do you feel the audience, let me ask it again, do you feel the audience misunderstands you? And if so, why?
Well, I don't think it's the audience that misunderstands me. I don't think it's the audience. I think it's a set of people with their agenda trying to make it seem like the audience don't like my music. So that they can have a reason to downplay me when they are on the table with entrepreneurs and investors. That's just the reason. It's not because I'm a bad guy. It's not because I'm
You look like a bad guy, though.
No, I may look like a bad guy,
Yeah.
But inside, I'm that guy to make it happen.
Like Eclairs, right?
I'm that guy. Just say, what's the issue? That's the reason why you can see me doing the Plantation Boys project on my own. Because I'm that guy to make it still happen.
I was going to
regardless of whether there's sponsorship or there's no sponsorship. When I came to the game, there was no money for Plantation Boys. We didn't have any money. I kept on the program. I kept on the process. I believed in the process. And I kept telling them, believe the process. Until the process paid out when we went to the Rothman's Groove and we were able to have money to record our debut album. If I didn't believe in the process, I won't be here today. I won't be here today.
I remember Rothman's Groove.
Yes.
97, 98?
Yes.
You guys were big at the time.
We were big because the sound was big. We were nobody.
Oh my goodness.
We were nobody. Nobody knew us.
Massive.
But the moment you heard us on stage, we were sounding like Drew Hill or like New Edition. Yeah, because the standard was not all about where we were, but what was upstairs. It wasn't ever about
the music.
But the music. So that's the reason why people see us that way. We didn't have an album out, but we were big. We didn't have a private house of our own. We were squatting with people, but we're big. We were having people come to our house to come and visit us, plenty people. We didn't have our own personal car or bus to convey all of us, but we were big. Why were we big? It was because of the work we put in. And the people loved the work. So they regard us as our work. So you are as big as your work. You're not as big as how much money you think you have in your bank from last year. You're as big as your presence
what you're doing
now.
Currently.
And that's how the people took to us. And they really respected our craft. And they saw the vision about where we were going. And they respected us for that. Until, while they were respecting us, until people got to realize that the more they are respecting these people, almost, that guy, we have to make sure nobody talks anything about him. And that was how they started targeting me.
Again, I'll ask why.
As then, yeah, because they don't want no competition, bros. They don't want no competition.
You were actually ahead of the game at the time.
I told them I was ahead of the game since 2005. I told them I was ahead against 2005. And I was even asked to take that song down, and I refused to take it down.
Whoa, please speak on that.
Yeah, I was asked to take it down. I was asked to take it down. I was actually approached. Take the music down.
By whom?
I was approached by the owner of Hip TV.
Okay.
I was approached by him in Abuja. I was not approached in Lagos. I was approached in Abuja. Like they traveled to Abuja to meet me in Abuja.
Why would he ask you to do that?
Because they them damn hip hop world, me they check my profile, say me better than you, let them me got myself signed. Mediocre, time to resign. I knew they'd be mediocre since 2005. They'd be mediocre. So they took my awards that I thought I was supposed to get. Best album was supposed to be Ghetto Child for 2004. Or best single was supposed to be Hard Life. Or best collaboration was supposed to be The Pain Name and Spicy Rocksteady. Those were supposed to be the awards given to us for the work we put in.
Because those songs were big at the time. They were the
but they gave it
year.
to other people because we were not part of the people that they want to promote. That's what I feel. I may be wrong, but that's what I feel. And that's the reason why it propelled me into being, I know you people have your plans about me, but no problem. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll see who's going to last long in this game. Because they say, I'm nothing without the press. The beginning will be the press, and the ending will be the press. I said it's a lie. The press can't press me.
I like the sound of that.
That's what I told them. I said the press can't press me. And this is me 2023, 24. I'm still here, bros. The press have tried to press me for how long? Go to my Facebook page. They're all there. What are they doing there? Just talking about me wrongly. I wear my suit. Oh, this your suit is too hot. Why don't you wear a suit? Do you know the car I drive if I have so much AC in my car? Oh, this your glasses. Why don't you change it? It's my glasses. Oh, you should, because they always say that once they want to cancel you, they always have a reason to complain. And they send people to your page and to complain and complain and complain. Even if
I've heard that thing, right? That people are actually engaged to sit